Hello internet, my name is Lave and I watched Star Wars The Last Jedi. Now rest assured this is going to be a spoiler free video. Believe me, I get how important it is not to have this film spoiled for you. I myself was avoiding all spoilers on social media and the news when inexplicably the night before my mate texted me a huge spoiler. I was like, dude, what are you doing? I was like Luke at the end of Empire Strikes Back. I was like, no! So trust me when I say this is going to be spoiler free. What I will say about the premise is that it picks up directly after The Force Awakens, with the rebels on the run from the First Order and Rey on another planet seeking guidance from Luke Skywalker. With that synopsis in mind and with the way that The Force Awakens left things, I didn't quite realise until I'd seen The Last Jedi that I actually did have a lot of expectations for this. Not plot expectations or character revelations, but certainly I had expectations about the tone of this film, and it was completely not what I was expecting. Now, to explain this without giving away any spoilers, I'm going to try and justify it by looking at the director Rian Johnson. So if you look at his previous films, you've got Lupita, which is a film that I'm very fond of, and Brick, which is a film I absolutely adore. Now there is a running theme between these two films. This one is a sci-fi film, this one is a contemporary noir, but they're both very serious and grown-up films. And with these in my mind, I totally thought that Rian Johnson was the perfect director. I thought he's going to carry over the serious tones from this one into The Last Jedi, when actually what is delivered feels very much like a Marvel film. There is a lot of humour in this which didn't really fly with me. Don't get me wrong, there were moments where I laughed, and I'm not saying that Star Wars shouldn't have humour in it, but there were other moments which I was highly anticipating, and it feels like those scenes which are supposed to be emotional just resorted to a cheap joke for a cheap laugh. Yeah, there's just so many moments in this where I just kind of like raised my eyebrow in curiosity. I never thought I'd see someone milking an alien in a Star Wars film. I never thought I'd hear one of the main characters say spunk. There's a bunch of like celebrity cameos in there as well. I don't get that. I know The Force Awakens had celebrity cameos, but they were all hidden. In many ways, I got the impression that Rian Johnson was trying to make this more like a Marvel film. Now, I highly praised Thor Ragnarok for hiring Taika Waititi, and because they hired him, I knew what to expect. I knew it was going to be really funny and have a unique style to it, and I was expecting Rian Johnson to have a very serious tone, and it didn't feel right to me. Now I'd love to give you some examples, but I obviously can't do that because of spoilers, so I will be doing a spoiler review for this. I've got to see it again, but that is where my disappointment is stemming from. Before I go off into a complete rant, let's talk about some positives. First of all, it is a complete joy to see Mark Hamill reprise his role, and he is absolutely brilliant as Luke. He's, shall we say, a universe-weary Luke. He's rough around the edges, and I absolutely loved his performance and his character arc in this, particularly his interactions with Rey, Daisy Ridley. She's good. I definitely see what they were talking about, her being wooden in The Force Awakens. I think some of that is still present in this, but overall, her overall performance is very good, and she's kick-ass with a lightsaber. I also liked her conflict and confrontations with Adam Driver's Kylo Ren, who absolutely kills it in this film. It unpacks even further just how conflicted and tormented this character is by the light and the dark side, and Adam Driver's performance brilliantly captures this. It's everything in his actions to his facial expressions. He is such a terrific actor, and I loved him in this. And it's that side of the film that particularly works for me, as it interweaves with each other, but then you've got the other side of the film with the rebels running away from the First Order, where you can further split it into separate plot arcs from there, with Finn going on his own adventure, and then you've got Poe. It does explore his relationship and dynamics within the Rebels. I really like that. And of course you've got Leia, which is really kind of bittersweet, this being Carrie Fisher's last performance as Leia. It's really emotionally charged whenever she's on screen. However, it's within this section where you meet a whole host of new characters. You've got Laura Dern as a new character. You've got a new character called Rose, who I wasn't particularly enamored with. Benicio del Toro turns up, but then he disappears just as quickly as he arrives. And for me, it just feels like the film is struggling to keep up with all of the plot arcs which it sets up and tries to tie up by the end. And it just doesn't flow very well. There are moments where it will go on to this particular section of the film where the brakes are put on and it completely slows it down, but then it's happening in parallel to another scene, so it cuts between that, but then it cuts back to this scene and it doesn't seem to have progressed any further. It just didn't have that flow to it. And then on top of that, it's got to answer some of the questions posed by The Force Awakens. Some of them are answered. I was satisfied with some of them. Others, I wasn't as satisfied. There are other questions which aren't answered and does feel sort of anticlimactic in a way. Of course, you've got the epic battles in land, sea, space. You've got the lightsaber battles. They're all present and correct. And actually, there are moments in this which actually feels very art house, and I did kind of expect that from Rian Johnson. That's the only thing I was expecting which was delivered. And it does throw up some surprises, and it takes it in a tantalizingly new direction, which obviously I can't go into more because of spoilers. It just wasn't what I was expecting in terms of its tone, and I think it is a bit convoluted and a bit crowded at times. So that's my thoughts on Star Wars The Last Jedi, and pause the video if you want to take a closer look at my enjoyment tracker now. For all of those reasons, I can't say that this is a brilliant Star Wars film. Is it fun and entertaining? Absolutely. Is it what I was expecting? No, it isn't. I was expecting something more in line with Empire Strikes Back, not necessarily exactly the same plot beats, even though it does share and echo plot beats from Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. But for me, I actually enjoyed The Force Awakens more than this. I actually enjoyed Rogue One more than this. Of course, it's not as good as Empire. I'd put it at the same kind of level as Return of the Jedi. So that's my honest knee-jerk reaction to Star Wars The Last Jedi. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? I'm definitely going to go and see it again, and my opinion might change. It might be even better. It might probably stay the same. I think it's probably going to stay the same. But what did you guys think about it? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thanks very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you can, give this video a like, and don't forget to share the Lave. It's all right. By very definition, it's not bad, but it's not amazing either. All right? Subscribe.